Hey, what's going on everybody? My name is Kabi and welcome back to a brand new video. Today I wanted to introduce to you guys something that's been on my mind ever since I started YouTube. So I wanted to start doing like this tutorial kind of series. It was mainly supposed to be learning about every weapon in the game, and that's probably what I'm gonna have it be, eventually. But I wanted to give myself, give you guys my thoughts and my opinions on how I think you should learn how to play, certain weapons, positioning, certain controls, the weapon itself, the specials, game modes, stuff like that. Yeah, I thought it would be, a nice little way to help, newcomers that have just gotten Splatoon 3, since it is a pretty brand new game. It did just come out like a few months ago. Yeah, I thought it would be a nice way to help those guys, get a feel for the game, and if they actually enjoy this kind of game, well, I wanted to give myself, this opportunity to share my thoughts and, how I think you should play this, how I think you should play certain weapons, starting with the Charger, of course, if you haven't seen the title of the video already. But, before we get into this, of course, if you do enjoy this type of content, make sure to subscribe to the channel. It would really help out a lot. My channel has been growing like crazy recently, so I really appreciate that. From the bottom of my heart, thank you so much, guys, for all the support recently, all the views and the likes and stuff. So, yeah, with that out of the way, let's get straight into it. So, the first thing I wanted to tell you guys is that chargers are really hard. They are insanely difficult. They are one of the most hardest weapons to learn in Splatoon. As you know, they're a charger, they're really hard to aim, you have to have, precision, you gotta be really, perfect with your aiming almost. Since, the kill window is very, very direct. So, yeah, you gotta make sure you're hitting your shots, pretty confidently. Along with, bows and squeezers and whatnot. But, let's first talk about motion controls / stick controls. I am actually a motion control player, if you couldn't tell by all of the content that I've been doing recently. I used to, when I first played Splatoon 2 for the first time, I was a sticks player. I played with Joy-Cons attached to my Switch, and it was a nice experience. I was always recommended and always heard that it was recommended to play with motion controls, and I obviously, gave it a shot, and it was pretty nice. And yeah, now I'm a motion controls player. Now, it doesn't matter what you play. You can play motion or you can play sticks. I will vouch for either of those, and you'll do just as great as many of the other high-level players, mid-level players. It doesn't matter what you play. As long as you feel comfortable with it, you'll do great. I promise you that. You have my entire, vouch. You have my entire vouch on that. For sensitivity, play whatever you feel is comfortable. Like I said, it doesn't matter if you play sticks or motion. If you want to play at the high sensitivity so you can be really precise and, be aware of your surroundings, then, feel free to. If you want to play on the slow sensitivity, feel free to as well. It doesn't matter. As long as you feel comfortable with it, go for it. You have no reason to not do it if you don't test it. But let's get on to movement. I wasn't sure if I should have included movement in, like, I forgot to say this in the introduction, but I wasn't sure if I should, do like a beginner, intermediate, and advanced tutorial, but we'll see. If you guys want to let me know in the comments down below. But for now, I guess I'll just include this in the beginner section. For movement, as a charger, you're a backliner. If you don't know what a backliner means, that means you're in the back. Like, think of like a line, for example, like 4 people standing in a line. You have your frontliner, which is like your shooters, the people that are being aggressive, the slayers, the ones that are always going to be in the front, getting the kills, making like some of the call outs for your team. And you have your midliner, which is like your splatter shot pros, your, I guess, bows. Some people think that not bows, tri-stringers are a midliner weapon. You have like heavy splatlings, which is considered, a midliner / a backliner, but in my opinion, I think it's both, to be honest. But yeah, you have weapons like those that are still, they're the ones that are making most of the call outs sometimes. But yeah. And then you have the third person, which is, they're both technically the same thing, like the first two people in front. They're both technically the same thing, like a midliner and a backliner. But you have the one that's all the way in the back, which is going to be you. You are the backliner. You are not really meant to be holding forward, you know, like that quote, the joke that I was doing in the splash video, where, you know, maximum W key. You're not gonna really be doing that as a charger, because you're not gonna be able to escape fights well, since you're not gonna be able to. You know, the charger can only shoot so fast, and it shoots in vertical lines, I think, and you have range, so there's no point in frontlining or trying to be a midliner as a charger when you have range. You can just outrange like most of the weapons in the game. So yeah, I thought that was, you know, pretty necessary to say. As far as movement goes, you gotta have awareness when you're a charger. You gotta know like where people are. You know, you gotta know where you are. You gotta know how, you know, where you are positioned on the map. Like you could be in the middle right here, for example. Since this is actually a really good map to choose. Scorch is very, 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 you know, map controlling dependent. Since, you know, this big old tower in the middle here, if you get control of this, you practically win the game. It's really hard to come back from, and people with range like Hydra, Splatlings, Heavy Splatlings, Hydra Splatlings, you know, all the chargers in the game, they really benefit from getting control of this middle center right here, and it's really hard to come back from. When you have, when I say awareness, I mean like you gotta know when people are pushing up, like when they have specials, when someone is pushing in from like the bottom left right there. Just be aware that they're trying to push back up, and just, you know, make sure you're not accidentally dropping, or, you know, accidentally pushing in too far, then you die, and then it throws your whole team off whack. I wanted to talk about positioning too. Make sure to position yourself, you know, you're a backliner, so you should position yourself in the back of the team. You're really in the back most of the time, but it really depends on the map. I guess I could show you a few videos on like, or a few clips on like Scorch and Eeltail Alley, because those are two pretty good charger maps. But yeah, most positioning is map dependent, but most of the time you're going to be in the back. You're not going to be wanting to push up with, or like be a whole slayer with the charger. And to be honest, I honestly kind of agree with, if you want to play charger to an aggressive level, then go right ahead. Like, if you have the confidence to play charger at a really high level, and you think you can get, you know, doubles or really key picks or whatever, you know, then go for it. You know, if you think you have the confidence in doing that, go right ahead. But I don't recommend doing that, because it throws your team out of whack. So, you know, I'll probably get into team play and playing in a team in a later video, you know, if you guys actually enjoy this type of content. But let's talk about abilities. Wow, those guys, things, those do not matter in this game, in my opinion. And I said this in like Splatoon 2, but that's a whole different game. We're not gonna talk about that. Abilities in this game do not matter, but I will say that you should probably run what you feel most comfortable with. If you're gonna ask what I like to run swim speed and respawn Punisher. Well, I don't like to run respawn Punisher, because, you know, it's good for what it is, but if you die, then you're just dead for like a million bajillion years. So, but I mean, if you kill them, then, you know, they're also dead for like a bajillion years. You know, it's up to you, whatever you want to run. But I like to run a lot of swim speed. I like to run a lot of sometimes Inksaver main, Inksaver sub, so you can throw bombs in case you need to retreat, in case you're close to dying from, like, I don't know, a squeezer or a splash, or, you know, it's just to give yourself some distance really quickly. I like to run probably some last ditch effort. I'll probably get more into that into a later video, but just for a simplified version, I like to run last ditch effort because it buffs all of your abilities when the timer's up there. Below that timer, where the distances it says, where it says remaining 100, when the one in pink, actually, I'm on the blue team, once that gets to 30 or below, it buffs all of your abilities for the entire game. And it also does the same thing for Interval when it gets to the last 30 seconds, but it's a lot more effective when it's in a ranked mode and it gets below 30. And that's for any ranked mode, like for Clan Blitz, for Tower Control, for Splat Cells, and for Rainmaker. If they get below 30, it boosts all of your abilities. So that's why I like to run Lashes Ever, you know, Object Shredder, and Swim Speed. I think those are really key for a Charger. But you can run those abilities for any weapon in the game and do just as good. So yeah, those are my opinions on, you know, what abilities I think you should run. Let's get into the weapon itself. The weapon, I don't like unscoped weapons, in my opinion. I think they're really, you have to be a lot more accurate as far as when you're playing Spider Scope or E-Leader Scope, or, you know, those are only scope weapons actually that I can think of. And I think those are the only scope weapons that are in the game. You don't have to be as accurate, because when you're shooting with an unscoped charger, it kind of feels like, it feels weird. I don't know what to call it or what to say about it, but it feels really weird. You know, compared to splatter scopes and E-Leader scopes, where they're nice and sensitive, and it actually feels like you need to aim your camera at the opponent to actually shoot them. But the difference with scopes and with regular chargers, unscoped chargers, that you can store your charge, and that's really nice for, you know, if you need to swim away to get out of harm's way, or if you need to, you know, if you want to do a trick shot or something. I think it's really useful for just getting away. It's also a nice way to reposition yourself when you're in a pickle or whatever. Yeah, that's my opinion on, you know, holding your charge with the charge. You can't do that with Bamboozler, and I believe that's and with the scope weapons, of course. Yeah, it's also, you know, a really hard weapon. I should reiterate. Splat chargers, all chargers in general, are really hard, and it's only if you want to truly learn these weapons to, like, to their peak, to become a really good charger, main, secondary, whatever. Just know that it's one of the hardest weapons in the game, and it's going to take a lot of dedication and a lot of effort to actually get good with chargers, because you could fail very miserably with a charger and do, like, very poorly, in your opinion, whatever you think is poor, you could do very poorly and easily lose motivation to want to learn chargers anymore. Yeah, that's what I think is, you know, on chargers. The sub weapon, by the way, for the sub weapons, I think that, you know, Splat Bomb is, you know, your standard sub weapon. It's a bomb, it explodes, kablooey, bada boom, they're dead. It's really good for retreating, and for map control, as, you know, it's a sub weapon that can kill you. It has pretty okay range. Yeah, that's really it. It's really good to trap them so that when they're behind that bomb, you can shoot them, because they're gonna be forced to move forward. So you can throw the bomb behind them and then shoot them. You know, that's a technique that I learned when I was playing this game, and, you know, playing it for as long as I have been. As for the special, the Ink Vac is super good. A lot of the specials in this game are very good, but we're gonna highlight on Ink Vac for today. It's really good for zones. You know, I should probably talk about the special first. It sucks up ink, so I should probably get my special for a section really fast. And this map is actually a good description of it. So you use your special, and you suck up ink that wherever is being shot, you know, around you. And then once it's done, you shoot it, and it kills people. And that flying shot that you saw, that one-shots people. So if you have really good accuracy, you can probably one-shot a few people with that Ink Vac shot. But it's really good for zones, because you can suck up the ink from, you know, other players that are shooting the zone probably, and then they can't get the zone because you know, their shots are being sucked in by the ink vacuum, which allows your other teammates to get the zone faster, and you can probably kill a few people once you get the zone and once your ink vac is full. So I really enjoy using ink vac. I think it's really strong with chargers in general, and yeah, I think it's really good. I think it's really nice. You really want to stick next to your teammates when using ink vac. You don't want to push in alone, because you can still die, of course. You know, they can come up from behind you, or they can just wait until your ink vac is full and then just one tap you like that. So just be aware of when you're using ink vac and where you're using ink vac. Also, if you wanted to see, you know, another video where I talk about sub specials and special weapons, leave a comment down below. You know, give this video a ton of likes, and, you know, maybe I'll consider it, because I do want to talk about a lot of this game, you know, a lot of the weapons, a lot of specials, a lot of the subs too, because there's a lot to talk about, and I deeply, truly enjoy playing this game to the fullest. I should probably talk about squid rolling. So if you don't know what squid rolling is, and squid surging, that is a squid roll. So it cancels all your momentum. Like you move forward, move in the opposite direction, and then press the jump button, and you perform a squid roll. I'm pretty sure that Nintendo themselves talked about this, obviously, but as for a charging, you aren't gonna really need to be using this a whole lot, since you're gonna be really I forget the word. I'll probably put the word up on screen or something, or you're gonna be stationary. Stationary is what it is. You're gonna be stationary, which stationary means you're just gonna be sitting in one place the whole time, because the only time you're gonna be pushing up is if your teammates are pushing up, and if maybe if one or two people are down, or if you get a pick or two, you can push up, pressure them more so that it's making them hard for them to coordinate, and you can get a few picks, or you can get a few picks and solidify the map control and get specials that way, and get a few picks too. But yeah, you're gonna be stationary for most of the time. There's no point in squid rolling unless you are like pushing up and you think that there's a few people like down there, but by the yellow box. If you're pushing up and swimming towards it, you can probably jump back just in case, they're getting too close to you or whatever, if you're getting scared or whatnot. But I don't think you're going to be using squid rolling that much as a charger, in my opinion. Nobody does squid surging. Literally nobody does squid surging. This is a squid surge. You hold B on, an inkable surface if you're climbing up, and you get like a big jump. Not used ever. Never is needed to be used unless you're playing like Salmon Run to get on the fish stick, on top of the fish stick faster. But I have yet to see any use for squid surging at this current time. But as time goes on, I'm sure people will find very important and useful uses, if that's even a sentence, for squid surging. For the skill height, I wanted to talk about how hard this weapon actually is compared to other weapons. It's, as I said before, it's one of the hardest weapons in the game, along with squeezers, along with the bows, or stringers, I'm sorry, reflex strike stringers, whichever. It's up there. It's like really hard to master, as as I just talked about. You have to be very precise with your aiming. It takes a lot of practice, it takes a lot of skill, it takes a lot of determination, effort, actual effort. Stuff like that. It's really a really hard weapon to get into, but it's also very enjoyable. But you have to want to learn this weapon. It won't be a weapon that's not enjoyable if you're not having fun with it. That's what I like to think of. Other chargers / ones to recommend. I would definitely, for beginners, definitely Splat Charger, 1000%. It has one of the best specials in the game. Has range, of course. One shots people. It's because it's a sniper, aka a charger. I would probably also recommend Good Super too, since it's practically the same thing as Splat Charger, just with slightly less range and a really controlling special, which is Sentinels, which I'll probably get into in another video. Also, Torpedo's also really controlling, since it actually targets people and can easily kill them, and easily pushes them further back to away from the mode most of the time. I'll also recommend Swiffer, since it's very simple. It's very simplistic. It's one of the most simplistic chargers in the game, along with Splat Charger. Its special is also really good, but I think you should want to stick with Splat Charger. Like, master Splat Charger until you feel like you're ready to play a different weapon, like Spider Scope, or like Bamboozler, or E-Leader even. Master. I shouldn't say master. I should probably say feels until it feels like you're ready to move on to the next weapon. Yeah, until it feels like you're ready to move on to the next weapon. Perfect, quote unquote, this weapon first, Splat Charger, because it's really hard to play other weapons while you're trying to master one singular weapon. So instead of trying to get good with 1,000 other weapons, you should learn to play this one weapon first. And then now you can feel like, oh well, I feel like I've learned all that I can learn about this weapon. So now I feel like I'm ready to, move on to the harder weapons. I think that's what you should do, at least. As for ways to practice, everyone has their own ways and methods of practicing. What I like to do though is just play the video game. everyone has their own methods to practicing. So I would prefer if you guys came up with your own unique methods, if you had any, and if, you can feel free to, tell me what you prefer to practice as, or practice as. I would prefer. Let me just start over. What I like to do is just play, and play. Everyone has their own methods to practicing, so I would prefer if you guys came with your own methods, your own unique methods rather, if any, and you can feel free to let me know. But what I will offer to you is to play a lot of ranked. It has its shortcomings, of course, but that's where the challenges come in. When you play ranked, it gives you, it feels like you'd be getting a run for your money. Like you actually need to try and learn a thing or two in playing the weapon. The ranked modes are a lot more important than turf war, which I will get into at a later date. As for practicing, the reason why I say the ranked modes is because there's a lot more at stake, and it feels like you need to actually use the weapon to the fullest of its ability to actually learn a thing or two about, positioning, about awareness, about, the weapon itself, the specials, the sub-weapons, etc., etc., etc. I can go on and on and on and on about this. But, yeah, you should come up with your own ways to practice and, see what you think is useful and see what you think would actually help you further than, what I'm giving you. Because, that might help more than what I'm giving you. So, yeah, I would love to know what other practice methods you like to use in the comments below, or, whatever. It'd be nice to, learn at your own pace. And, I guess I'll stop on that tutorial there. I hoped it helped you just a tiny bit. It didn't really. I just thought of this, when I first started making YouTube videos on Splatoon 3. I really wanted to make a tutorial video on most of the weapons in the game, but I decided to do it with Charger first, since I actually was a Charger. I am and was a Charger main, and I really love Chargers. They're one of the most fun weapons in the game for me. And I thought, if there's any other Charger mains out there, or Charger wannabes, maybe I could help them, learn a thing or two about how to play Chargers. And if you enjoyed this kind of video, if you did, make sure to leave a like down below. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see y'all later, I guess. Peace out. Hope you enjoyed.